want to become somebody who runs their own business, then you must be willing to deal with failure. Do something out of the norm at least once a month. Best thing for an entrepreneur, being able to listen to what a client is saying and be able to realize what the client needs and sell it to them. Hello and welcome to the Ethel Cofie Startup School. My name is Ethel Cofie. Now, if you are new to the show, new to the program, that you've never visited us, you are welcome. If you're an old viewer and you come back week in and week out, you are also welcome. For the new ones, let me share with you a little bit about what the Ethel Cofie Startup School is not. Then I will tell you what the Ethel Cofie Startup School is. So the Ethel Cofie Startup School is not a feel-good motivational program on entrepreneurship. That's not what it's meant to do. It is a practical, as you were, MBA on how to build your business. So we're being truthful and honest about what it takes to build a business at every level. We'll talk to you about the psychological strains of building a business and how to deal with them. So it's a practical MBA on entrepreneurship. And this is to help you as you might be in your job right now looking to start your own business. This is a good start for you. Or you might have started a business within about a year to 3 years. This is a good place to sort of pick up the skills that you need to run a successful business. Again, my name is Ethel Cofie and you are welcome. So I'm going to take a minute to ask those of you who joined right now to, if you know somebody who's an entrepreneur or wants to be an entrepreneur, somebody that you believe that can benefit from this program, I would love you to take a minute to either comment their names down in sort of the live stream video, or that you share in your timeline so that they will be able to participate in the program. So I'm going to take a minute and share it so that the world and people in your timeline in the world will be able to sort of partake and learn from it. And you can be the cool person that shares the cool information. Every week, for those that are new, every week we give away a book. So this week I'm giving out a book called Blink. It's by Malcolm Gladwell. And it talks about human behavior and how human beings make decisions. And for any entrepreneur, you understand that the ability to understand human behavior and the ability to influence human behavior above all will enable you to be able to sell more, to be able to persuade people to come and work for you, to be able to influence people to sort of collaborate with you. So the ability, learning human behavior is great. So what will happen is at the end, if you sit through the end of the program, I will ask one specific question. And that one specific question, if you answer it properly, the first person to answer it correctly will then win the book. So stay alert, grab a paper and pen if you will, because this is a learning curve. Grab a paper and pen, write the things that you need to learn down. It's going to be an exciting trip. So let's go. Before we start, I've got to set my timer because I don't want to go beyond. So here's my timer where I don't want to go beyond the 30 minutes. I want you to be able to listen to this on your lunchtime and then go back to work. So let's go. So the last couple of weeks I've been talking about sort of setting up your unique value proposition about your products. This month, I really want to talk about sales. So I've said here before, for those who've listened and keep coming back, that if you have a business and you cannot sell, you have a very expensive hobby. Because to be honest, you've got to be able to sell your product, to be able to sell your ideas, to be able to win at business. So this week we're starting, it'll be I think a series of 4 weeks on sales, and this week I'm starting on the biggest lesson you need in sales, right? So that the ability to persuade. So we're talking about sales and we're talking about persuasion. So the more you are able to persuade and influence people, the more you're able to sell, the more you're able to grow your business. So today we're talking about So what I'm going to talk about this week is nothing new. It's just an amalgamation of sort of scientific ideas on how to influence people. So a lot of the lessons that I'm teaching here, I learned from a book called Influence by Robert Cialdini. I didn't mention his name right, but Robert Cialdini. So if you're looking to sort of delve deeper into persuasion and there's selling a persuasion, the book, Robert Cialdini's book, Persuasion, is a really good place to start. A lot of my lessons are actually from that book for today. So we'll go through the different principles of persuasion, and I'm going to try and talk to you about how to apply them in your business. And what I'm going to need from you is for you to at least attempt one or two during this week and give me feedback. So it'd be really good to hear back from you on that. I tried this principle, I tried that principle, and it didn't work. And then remember, I'm giving away a book at the end. Again, share in your timeline if there's somebody that you think that really needs to hear about it. So let's go. So the first principle of persuasion is reciprocity. So and most of the scientists believe this is actually the strongest influence tactic. It means that we as a society, we are culturalized that if somebody does something good for me, I do something of equal measure back. So really think about it. Really think about the times that we've done stuff for people. Sometimes you don't want to, but you know they did something for you before. Maybe they had borrowed money to you before, or maybe in a situation where you really needed their help, they had come through for you. And so when they ask you a favor, you are more inclined to give, to do a favor back to them. So as human beings, we are really culturalized to reciprocate. So if I invite you to my party, most likely that when you do your party, you will invite me. That's just a principle. That's just how human beings work. And so how do you apply that in business? How do you apply the ability to make people feel like you owe them? How do you apply that when you go into your business? How do you apply that? I mean, there are a couple of questions. When did you last just call your customer to check in? Right. So how is business? I didn't call for payments. I didn't call to sell you anything. I just called to check on you. It gives a human touch to your business. It gives the feel of, you're a human being and you care about what's going on with them. When was the last time you sent content that's important to your customer? So maybe you are selling. For me, my company, Adele Technology Consulting, we sell specifically to C-level executives and IT managers. Now, so if I find content that is relevant for C-level executives that are important to their work, I will send it to them. I actually now have a tool where I automate a lot of the content that I want to send to my potential clients and to my clients. I say, hey, I know that you're struggling with this thing in your business, or maybe it's growing your business to the next level, or maybe in this innovation in your business to the next level. I found this amazing article that I think can help you on your way, and I send it. It gives people the sense that you've done something great for them. You're supporting their efforts, and there is a sense of sort of likability and reciprocity there. So let me read to you a few things that you can do, right? So some people every year will send a corporate gift bag, or a gift bag with things in it. Now that's great, but what is really, really good is for you to personalize it. So if you're sending it to the CEO of an insurance firm that has just won an award for most innovative insurance firm of the year, you can personalize the gift basket. So to Mr. or Mrs. so and so, congratulations on winning this prize. We know you've worked really hard at it. See, so it doesn't feel impersonal, but it feels like a really personal, that somebody has thought about it. Or again, I've alluded to sort of sending content, right? So latest industry news that you have preview to, maybe legislative updates. Do you know that the law has changed in this area, and that might affect, you might lose money, and here's an article, or here's how you don't, right? So you're giving them something, you're supporting them so that they will reciprocate. Maybe even market intelligence. Is there something that you have specifically? Also, it's good to share things that it's not in the wide domain, right? So if they can find it themselves, I mean, what's the point? So if it is, oh, you know, we as a company did some market intelligence and we found out that, you know, this and this, these 3 things pertain to your industry. Maybe that will affect how you do sales. That's also important. You can package that and send it to your clients. Or, you know, you can say, here are a couple of related products and services. So for instance, if you are doing, maybe you're in manufacturing, or you have a product, and there is another product that complements it, so that, I don't know, like toothpaste and toothbrush, right? So if you have another product that complements it, by all means, share with your clients, or saying, look, this will make your life better, right? So share with your consumers. Maybe you're making, I don't know, skincare things, or you're making products for exercise. Maybe you can send them things around nutrition. These are, you know, while maybe you're buying exercise gear from me, you can also look at ways in which to be healthy. Here is an article, or here are some pointers to articles that will help you, pointers to nutritious products that will help you grow and be better. Again, given, you know, again, it has to come from a really authentic place, and you want to help your customers, want to help your clients, and so you're doing it to help them, and they get a sense that that you're doing something good for them. They're more likely to work with you, and more likely to say yes to your sales. So personalizing, being able to do good things for your customers and clients is important. Reciprocity. Again, what I'm talking about comes from how I've learned these skills are from the book, Robert Cialdado's book, Persuasion. It's a really, really good book. If you can, you should get it, on how to persuade people. And these are actually scientifically backed, so these are important. So the next thing is scarcity. So we've all been there, where you go into a shop, and then maybe there are a pair of shoes that you like, and it's there, and then they can't find one in your size. So you maybe like 2 or 3 shoes, and then the one that you thought, oh, let me see that one, they tell you, okay, actually there isn't in your size. Have you noticed how much more you believe that that's the book, that's the shoe, or that's the sort of that's the shoe, or that's the footwear that you wanted? That's how the human brain works. So scarcity is the phenomenon where a product or a service is limited in availability, or perceived as being limited in availability. For instance, people line up to buy Apple products, to be the first to buy Apple products, when you could just wait and get them the next day, or you could order them and have it sent to your house, right? The feeling of, this is scarce, I want to be the very first person to get it, I want to be one of the few people to get it. It becomes really, really attractive. It also, from an economist, the economist will tell you, it makes sense from a traditional economic view, because where less supply, more demand will drive up prices. I think for women of color all over the world, in the last few weeks, Rihanna, the singer Rihanna, came out with the cosmetics line, which was about 40 different colors. And you will notice that after a few days, they ran out of stock. Now, as much as I believe that, I also believe that that's also really engineered. It is that, oh, it's run out of stock, a lot of people want it, a lot of people want to use it, and all of a sudden you, who hasn't really thought about it, is thinking, oh, actually this might be a really good product, I should go check it out. So there are 2 types of scarcity, and you can bring that into your your sales programs, right? It is either limited quantity, so 2 seats left, right? So if it's an airplane, if it's a flight that you're selling, well, 2 seats left, or you can do time-related scarcity. So this is, we're doing this promotion for 3 days. This is the last day. This is the last day to buy, right? So it pushes people to sort of quickly want to be able to get it before it leaves. Now, but in order to make scarcity work, you've got to explain to people what they stand to lose if they don't get the product, right? So it's not just the benefits of the product, but you're creating sort of a psychological feeling of, if I don't get this product now, I lose quite a bit. So you've got to explain to people, here are the benefits of my product, but if you don't get it now, you would buy it for 40% more cost. If you don't get it now, it's run out. You're never going to get this product again. These are ways to sort of influence people to buy quickly. So the scarcity, and it's used everywhere. I mean, you see a lot of companies use the, if you go to Amazon, for instance, Amazon always has a ticker of like 5 books left, or this is out of stock, you can reorder. They always have that, so you know exactly, how popular or unpopular the product is, and that might, so if you know that you really want this, and you really want this book, and there are 2 books left, you will buy because you really want it and want it quickly. So what do people stand to lose from your product? And give them either time-related or quantity-related scarcity, so they're interested in buying. For instance, this program is 30 minutes on a Thursday, right? So if you don't come and listen 30 minutes on a Thursday, then you've lost out on the ability to learn amazing things to build your business. And if you're not learning amazing things to build your business, then your business cannot grow to the next level and make the money that you want. You see, the scarcity principle. It only comes on 30 minutes on a Thursday. So there's a lot to learn from. So we've done reciprocity, we've done scarcity, and we'll talk about authority. So authority, for human beings, it's important to signal that you're an authority on a subject, right? So if you're selling to your customers, you must be an authority on the subject. And it makes influencing people to buy from you better. So, for instance, science has proven that doctors who put their credentials, so their certificates or whatever, up on the walls of their offices, actually have less patients who actually say no, who push back. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So if I'm there, I'm seeing, oh, this doctor has this award and that award and won this, or has this certificate, you're less likely to push back or even ask for a second opinion from another doctor, because it gives you a sense that this person is an authority in the field that they're in. So in terms of providing authority, a place of authority for your clients, you must answer the question, who is this person? So who am I? Like, I'm the one talking to you, like, who am I, right? Why should I believe anything that you say? And do they even know anything about me, right? It gives them a sense of authority. So, for instance, I have my website, which is ethelcofie.com, and on my website you'll see there's on the front page there's a bio. There's a bio that says I was named the top 5 women influencing technology in Africa. Then there is sort of a list of the places I've worked and the things that I've achieved there. And then there is a little snippet. So I was in the US a couple of years ago and had the opportunity to meet Michelle Obama. And she said something about me. She said, Ethel, it's a blessing to our generation. And I have the picture of me and Michelle Obama and that line. Again, it shows you that I've done a lot of work and I am an authority in my field, be it in technology or be it in entrepreneurship. So in how you craft your marketing material, you must be able to answer the question for the customer, who is this person that's talking to me? And do they know what they are talking about? So that's part of it should be part of your marketing material. In some ways, some action items for business, you can have a blog. I do have a blog. I don't blog as much, but you can have an authoritative blog. So it's frequent content, original content, and good content that makes people feel like you understand the field of what you're talking about. So your company could have a company blog. If, for instance, you're a marketing service, then you have a blog that is talking specifically about how to SMEs, about how to market better. The more information, the better, the more original information you can give to SMEs, the better that your company will be seen as an authority in SME marketing, and people will come to you. So stand to be an authority. Highlighting again your awards and things that you've won, and sort of other people. And also criticizing. So people don't do this much. It's also criticizing. So if you're an authority on a subject and there's something happening in your field that you believe is wrong, openly and standing up and criticizing also makes you an authority. I know people don't want to do that often, but I've written articles. My office is in Ghana. And there's an issue with the Bank of Ghana and how the regulation of electronic money or mobile money is in Ghana. I wrote a full article on why I believe the Bank of Ghana, which is the regulatory body, was making a mistake in how they were writing their the regulation for electronic money or for mobile money. So do stand up, and that shows your credibility because you know what you're talking about. So do stand up and criticize if you need to. That's also important. And remember, because you're also standing up to criticize, you will be criticized. You must respond to those criticisms. Not all criticisms, but you must respond to those criticisms that show you're an authority in your field. Okay, so then the next one is consistency. So people believe that they are consistent, right? So people genuinely like to believe that they are consistent in themselves, and you can use that to influence them. So people like to believe that they are consistent in their words, consistent in their deeds, consistent in their attitudes, consistent in their opinions, consistent in their beliefs, habits, and promises. Once a person makes a decision, they will take a stand or perform an action, or they strive for all their future behavior to align with that. That's just how the human brain works. So for instance, if you paid for something, I remember a couple of years ago, I was struggling with sales. So I paid, I was in the UK, so I paid about £1,000 for a 5-day training program. Okay. Because I had paid for it, I actually accepted and believed that this was going to teach me all the things I needed to do sales. To be honest, I couldn't remember even like 10% of that right after. But because I had paid for it, I had made the decision that this program was good for me. I'd followed through and paid for it. I convinced myself, and you know, if you look at the political atmosphere all over the world, part of it is people convincing themselves that this is good for them. Okay, so how to use it in business? The key to triggering the rule of consistency is simply to ask people to make small, active, public commitments. So in a way, so if I'm in a meeting with you and I say, will you commit to setting up another meeting in 5 days once I have sent you the proposal to discuss? Then it means that I'm getting you to make a small but public commitment. And most people, if they feel like they've made this commitment outward, they would usually follow up with that. So once you get people to make small commitments, they are most likely to make larger commitments. An actual scientific study where people in a neighborhood were initially asked to put up a big sign, say drive safely, a really big ugly sign in their front yard or in their garden, so that people who drove past will see it. And most people refused to do it. But when they asked people to just initially to make one small commitment, which is put a really small tiny sign in their window at home saying drive safely, the people who made that small commitment were more likely to then go back and make the bigger commitment of putting a really big sign in front of their house. So when you get people to make small little commitments, you can get them to make sort of bigger commitments. So for instance, if you know somebody has agreed, and you've been through this, you've agreed to do something for someone, and because you've agreed to do that little thing for that someone, if you agree to do that little something for someone, you're more likely to do, you're more likely to sort of follow up on that commitment. Then the next one is likability. So, you know, we all as human beings like to spend time with people, like to be with people that we like, right? We like to be with people that are similar to us. We like to work with people that are working to support, together with people to work to support one common goal. So likability is really, really important. And if you've been to a shop and the sales rep is really, really nice to you, and you've just bought because the sales rep is really, really nice, that's the principle of likability. The more you like somebody, the more likely you are to accept to do things for them. Really think about your own life. You've inconvenienced yourself on behalf of other people you've liked. You've maybe driven to pick up somebody from an airport because you like them. And so likability is really, really important. So you've got to learn how to make yourself likable. And the way to do that sometimes is to find common ground. So for instance, if I go into a sales meeting, I don't start business otherwise. So, you know, how was your day? How has it gone so far? You know, I try to find a common ground, to have a common ground with whoever it is that I'm going to have a meeting with, to have a discussion with, so we get a sense that you and I have something in common. It helps people to sort of it helps the likability factor, and that helps in business. So do more of that. Don't just walk into a conference room and start a meeting. You know, how was the drive here? How's your day been? Or do you have any kids? You know, there's something in the news that you say, oh, you know, have you seen this story? Just to create common ground and rapport, and it helps you get to know people a little bit better. Then the final one is consensus. So have you ever been to an ATM where, you know, there are two ATMs, but everybody's lined up in one ATM? And so when you get there, you're more likely to actually just join the longer line, even though there's a free ATM. So as human beings, when we are unsure, we go with the crowd. So we look at what other people are doing to validate. So for instance, now it's shown that 97% of people that buy online will read a product review. Because, well, if I'm not sure of the product, I want to go hear what other people have to say about it, and I will go with that, right? So you have to build your business in where you have a lot of referrals, and that's how to do it in business. So I forgot to remind you of the book again. So the book is Blink, The Power of Thinking Without Thinking. It tells you about human behavior and why human beings make the decisions that they make. It's a really good book in terms of just understanding human beings. I'll ask a question at the end of the day, and you can get that. Okay, so let's continue with consensus. So, for instance, people will put quotes from quotes from others who bought a product onto their website, just to give people a sense of this is what other people feel about this product, and this is how other people have used this product. So if you can get word of mouth for your business, so word of mouth. The word is virality, right? So it make your product viral in a way where people talk about it and share with others. That will help more people buy from you. And so just even think about how you buy. So if you're thinking about buying a product or you're using a service, you're most likely, so my time is up, you're most likely to ask your friend. So if you don't know anything about product, you're more likely to ask your friend, hey, have you tried this product before? Is it good? Should I use it? Right? So consensus is good. You should be able to put that in your business so that people can quickly see referrals of your product and other people talking to them. So this has been really good. I'd really like you to take time, go through all the principles again. So persuasion, reciprocity, scarcity, authority, consistency, liking, and consensus. Put put all of that together and just write one thing that you would like to do to be able to do reciprocity, or to do just one thing, and then just out of, I think you might have 5 or 6 things in the end, but pick all of them, look at the one that you can do immediately and try that one out. I would really like to hear from you, and tell me exactly how it went, how it changed your sales process, that sort of thing. I would really want your feedback, so let me know. So I don't know that I can answer any questions here, but I don't know if I can answer any questions because I don't see sort of the questions. But the book giveaway. So I'm going to ask that the very first person to write down, just for reciprocity, what they are going to do in their business to be able to provide reciprocity, to be able to bring the reciprocity business into their sales. The best answer will win the book. So just answer that question right now, and you'll be able to pick up Malcolm Gladwell's Blink and win it. So I'm going to wrap up now. If you want to reach out to me, I'm at www.ethelcofie.com. Actually, there is, if you go on the page there, you can sign up for for a free 10-week entrepreneurial course. So that includes videos and text and things I put together for people that sort of want to start the entrepreneurial journey. So if you're interested, just go on to www.ethelcofie.com, and you'll get a pop-up form. Don't do it on mobile. It doesn't come up on mobile, but do it on a computer. It will come up. And then just fill out the form, and you will be getting those emails on a weekly basis. I think also if you want to reach out to me on Facebook, it's Ethel D. Just search Ethel D. Cofie. You'll be able to find me on Facebook. On Twitter and Instagram, it's at Ethel Cofie. So just find me there. You can shoot me a question there. I think the hashtag is Ethel Cofie StartUpSchool. So you can also use that hashtag. It's fine. Just reach out to me if you have questions, if you have thoughts. Definitely go on the website, because there's a lot of like downloadable books and things, ebooks that I've written that will help you on your entrepreneurial journey. So definitely download them. We're looking at, so we're starting a 1-year coaching program next year. So I think the first cohort class is falls, but if you're interested, there is a sort of reserve list, and you can sign up on the website, so ethelcofie.com. There's a reserve list that you can sort of sign up for, and we'll see how it goes. So thank you very much for joining me this week. I would really love you to test out these principles and get back to me on what worked, what didn't work, and we can feed that back into the program. So enjoy the rest of your Thursday and enjoy the rest of the week. And I will see you back here next week to talk more about sales. Thank you. Sell it to them.